How to create point groups and apply point styles in Civil 3D complete tutorial. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's Civil 3D tutorial we are going to learn how to create point group and apply point styles in Autodesk Civil 3D. Point groups are very useful when working with survey data because they allow us to organize points based on criteria such as point numbers, descriptions, elevations, or raw descriptions. We will start with an existing drawing containing survey points, create a new points group, define its criteria, and then apply a specific point style and point label style. By the end of this tutorial, you will understand how to control the appearance of different types of survey points in your Civil 3D drawing. So let's get started. First, open your Civil 3D drawing. On the left side, open the tool space palette. If tool space is not visible, go to the Home tab on the ribbon. Then select tool space. In tool space, make sure you are on the Prospector tab. Here you will see several Civil 3D objects including surfaces, alignments, corridors, and points. Expand the points collection. Here we can see our point data. Create a new point groups. Now let's create a new point groups. Right click point groups and select new. Civil 3D open the point group properties dialog box. This is where we define exactly which points should belong to our group. Let's start with the Information tab. In the point group name field, enter a descriptive name. For this example, I will create a group called Topographic Points. It's good practice to use clear and meaningful names because a project can contain many different point groups. You can also enter a description if required. Define point group criteria. Now let's define which points should be included in this group. There are several ways to control point group membership. For this example, we will use raw description matching. Go to the Include tab and select with raw description matching. Here we can enter the point descriptions that we want to include. For example, suppose our survey points use descriptions such as control point, surface point, and detail points. If we want the group to contain only control point related points, we can enter the appropriate description code. For this example, let's use control points, surface point, detail point. Civil 3D will now identify points whose raw description match our criteria. We can also create point group based on point numbers. Select the point number tab. Select with point number matching. Here we can specify a range of points. For example, we could enter 1 to 16. This tells CV3D to include point numbered from 1 through 16. Point number criteria can be especially useful when your survey data has been organized into a specific numbering range. Another useful option is the elevation tab. Here we can define a minimum and maximum elevation. For example, if we want point with elevation between 50 and 275, we can specify this value here. This gives us another powerful way to filter our survey points. You can combine different criteria depending on how your project data is structured. Now let's control how two points in this group will look in the drawings. Go to the Overrides tab. Here we can override the point style and point label style for this point group. Enable the point style override. Then select the point style you want to use. For this example, I will select the style appropriate for our topographic points. You can use existing Civil 3D point style or create a custom one. Enable the point label style override. Select the label style you want to display. For example, we might want to point number and elevation to be displayed. Before clicking OK, let's review our setting. Our point group has a descriptive name, point description, criteria, point number criteria were required, a point style and point label style. Once everything looks correct, click apply, then click OK. Civil 3D will create the point group. To expand point group in Prospector, we can see our newly created point group. If the points are not displaying as expected, click the point group properties and make sure the correct criteria and styles are assigned. You can also right-click the point group and select property to make changes at any time. One important concept to understand is point group display priority. Civil 3D can have multiple point groups containing the same points. When this happens, the order of the point group can affect which point style and label style are ultimately displayed. The all points point group is normally present in a Civil 3D drawing. If a point belongs to multiple group, Civil 3D uses the point group here to determine which group's style take precedence. So when your point does not appear with the style you expect, always check the point group order. Let's make one more modification. Right click our point group and select property. We can change the description criteria. Point number, elevation, style and label style. For example, we want to include another description code, we can add it into the criteria. After making the changes, click apply. Civil 3D will update the points group. This is much more efficient than manually changing individual points. In a real survey project, you might create several point groups. For example, tree for tree points, utility for utility points, road for road related points, building for building points, topo for general topographic points. Each group can have its own point style and label style. This makes it much easier to manage large survey data sets. Instead of changing hundreds of thousands of points individually, you simply control their appearance through point groups. Let's quickly review what we done. First, we open Toolspace and went to the Prospector tab. Then we expanded point groups and create a new point group. We give the group a descriptive name and define the criteria used to select points. Finally, we applied a point style and point label style to control how to those points appear in the drawing. This workflow is extremely useful for managing survey data in Civil 3D. And that's how you create a point group and apply point style in Civil 3D. If this tutorial was helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. For more Civil 3D tutorial, survey workflow and CAD tips. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next tutorial.